Attention Kmart shoppers.
Cheers. That's all I got to say.
It's cheers and not shoppers. Is that the proper way of saying it?
Cheers. I don't care the proper way. Nice beer.
Okay.
That's the way to
thanks for
go.
everyone that shares our comic that should be coming out pretty soon.
Hell yeah. So, wow, look at this. We've got Crazy Mad in the house. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping. Thanks for stopping by. As always, Crazy Mad, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Art and Times of Jay Ryan. Always lovely to have you on. What do we got? We got Mo Biggs in the house. Hail the chat. Howdy, Mo. And Jim Cox. Hey, at the beginning of the show and not at the end. We've always been catching you at the end, so I'm glad you made it, Jim.
Awesome.
Good to see you. So that's awesome. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. So tonight, we're just going to be talking about some fantasy stuff. What else? We got some. We want to talk about the show, right? House of Dragons.
Yeah, the new Game of Thrones show. That's actually it's kind of crazy the viewership it got for live. When you think there's probably a lot of people that don't have HBO Max because their stuff's honestly most of their stuff's been god awful. Like
Yeah.
How they had their new movies drop day one for a whole year. God, they were all like garbage. Like The Matrix was terrible.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into that in just a minute. So
we're not talking about The Matrix, but
no, but we're going to get into all the show, so that'll be good. All right. Well, I hope everybody's had a good week. We've had a pretty good week, a very productive week.
Well, I have COVID, so stop putting it in my face that you're having a productive week.
Well, I can't help it. And we've had a lot get done for the comic. So if you read the banner below, everything is ready for formatting. So we just got the letters back from Eric Weathers as far as low-res versions. And all the corrections are made, all the edits. So the letters are complete. We just need to get the high-res files back from him so that we can start formatting for print. So if you guys don't know what we mean by that, it means we have to, I guess, format the color so it's ready for print. Because
I don't think people care about how the donuts are made. They just want the donuts.
They do. They like how the donuts are made. And they care about the quality. And we have Chris Fisk on that task. He's going to be formatting the colors for us from RGB to CMYK so that everything's ready for print. And then that'll make our PDF file and get all of our print files ready. And then we're going to be off to the printers. And man,
are you saying all this to try to sound smart with your?
No, I just want to let everybody know. But it's going to be cool as hell because we're probably about a month out from fulfillment. And I only say that because of the printers, not because,
anything
there's really going to be, it's not anything on us. It's going to be waiting on them. So, which is really cool. Plus, are you guys ready for this? We got some goodies from Phoenix. So we got our metal cards. Woohoo! I don't know if I can get that to shine right in poly
Take
bag.
it out of the plastic.
I know. It comes in its own little poly bag. Look at that. Whee! I love it.
Did you say yippee?
And then, what's that?
You just say yippee?
I said we.
Oh, you said we. I thought you said yippee.
Yeah. So there's our card, all metal.
Yeah. It's going to be metal.
Air. So I'll try to angle it so it's not shining so much, but it's really hard with my light. So, but I hope you guys like this. Okay, in Big and Dirk, that's what I'm seeing. So, okay. Boom. I got to take off Jim here. And this is the metal card that every backer is going to get, every physical backer, right?
Yes.
So if you backed our book, you're going to get this in the package. It's going to be fantastic in its own poly bag.
And down the road, you should be able to use it in a game when we do make a card game for the universe.
Yeah, so Phoenix just sent these to me and got them yesterday in the mail, which was fantastic. He did a great job. Good quality, really unique piece here, and double-sided. I'm so excited because at one point he was saying he was struggling getting double-sided metal, and I was like, no, but it came out excellent. He did an awesome job on that. I'm working on, look how many cards I have done already. 35 cards. 35 sketch cards. So they're all coming out great. So, man, that light is bright, isn't it? I'm really sorry about that. But
no, it's good though. When you get it angled right, you can really see the stuff really well.
yeah, so it's really coming out great. I'm super excited to get these done. I have about 25 more cards to do, and that'll be ready. Which I'll get that done by the time the print file is ready to go. And once that's done, man, off to the printers. Once we get everything back and proofed, it's going to be off to critical blast and fulfillment time. So I think September is going to be a really good month for us to fulfill. So Mo says, he said, bing, bing, wahoo, yippee. It sounded like Dirk was playing a modern Super Mario game.
Oh, man. I'm a Mario. I'm number one.
Wahoo, yippee.
You're right. Yeah. That Mario Kart game was amazing, man. Just the stuff they would say. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. I feel so good about everything because really, it's really coming together. Everything's finally getting to where everything's complete. Everything is like, where we want it. And oops, I removed you, but now you're back in. Are you there?
Yeah. Oh, people couldn't hear me at all?
No, I put you out for a second, but it's all good. It's all good.
So you're saying all the gold nuggets? Wait, you could hear me, but the chat, no one else could hear me?
No, they could hear you. I just pulled you out for just a quick second.
Well, yeah, they don't put right back my icon.
It's all right. They didn't miss anything, so it's all good. So, yeah. So I also want to show a little graphic here, just to show everybody. Hey, look at that! Pencils and inks, colors and letters, 100%, which really puts us in a great place.
Yeah. Yeah. Barely any more steps to go. Man.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. It said, don't let Murph Dirk gaslight you. We couldn't hear you at all.
Oh, man. So they didn't.
It's weird not seeing Murph's bewildered face when questions arise. I know.
Hey.
Well, with him being sick, I understand. I wouldn't want my sickened face on the camera as well.
No, there's nothing wrong with my face right now. It's just I can't my back feels like I've been in a car accident. Even like I'm like eating ibuprofen like nothing, and it does not matter. This new strand goes right to your muscles. I'm not.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, my son had it 2 weeks ago now, and when he had it, it hit him hard that way too. It's just like the first few days were like a train wreck, and then once he got over the fever and his body stopped aching, he was like, okay.
Yeah,
he had like a little cough.
Yeah, I'm not coughing. There's nothing in my chest, but it's all in my knees. Feel like I'm having growing pains, but my back.
Well, Mo says there's nothing wrong with my face right now. That's debatable.
There's nothing ever wrong with my face. That's the moneymaker.
Here we go. Let's not be hasty, Murph. Now, see, the Art and Times of Jay Ryan says that.
Not be hasty. That's the Lord of the Rings. What is that? Oh yeah, that's when the Ent is talking to Mary.
Uh-huh.
Don't be hasty. And I can't think of what he says after that.
I'm so mad you guys beat me to that, Crazy Mad says. Well, hey, we got to go up to the top here and do the question of the week. So let's remove this and let's do the question of the week. Boom, boom, boom. What is it? Oh, Crazy Matt asks, on your bookshelf, spines out or covers out?
Say what?
Spines out or covers out? Do you do the cover or do you do spines? I'm trying to see what I got. I mean, I kind of got both. So I do like certain ones I might highlight and showcase a certain cover, and then other ones I'm going to put the spine and just see the spine. So it depends on what it is.
Oh, mine are all spine out.
Yeah, it's mostly spines for me, but I would say every now and then I like to highlight the cover if it's really something to do.
Like, I see what he means. You're right, because some covers are awesome looking, but
Yeah.
like my omnibuses, they're so huge. That just takes up too much space.
Yeah.
If I show the covers on my bookshelf. So,
Angela Marie, thank you for showing up. This is your first time on the show, right? So good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. She says, I collect manga and I do some covers out for display, but mostly spines out. Yeah, I would agree.
yeah. Like, if the omnibuses weren't so big, maybe I would do that, but it's not reasonable. Like, it would basically take one shelf up by itself.
Mo says, if I collected manga, I'd probably store them pages out so people could tell what they were. Dang, Mo. Always harsh on the weebery. I'm telling you. Always harsh.
People really like Berserk. I've never given it a chance.
Is it manga?
Yeah, and I guess
I have
it's
no
like
idea.
really good. Like, it's supposed to be.
Well, I mean, for me, I don't really follow a lot of manga. I'll watch the anime, but I don't really do manga. So
What anime do you watch? I can't think of anything that
I mean, I'll watch it from time to time. I don't watch everything. I just watch a few things.
We're not going to get into another Dragon Ball Z thing, are we?
No, for me, I'll watch I watched Doctor Stone. I watched One Punch Man, Ghost in the Shell. I like to.
Yeah, I've never watched Ghost in the Shell.
You need to, and Akira. So
What's
there's
Akira?
things I love, and then there's things I'm like, oh, I can take it.
What's Akira?
Like, what? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. That was a
Oh my
question.
gosh. I mean, it was considered the greatest anime of all time.
What is it?
It's a futuristic story. It's hard to go into all at once, but I think you need to check it out. So Angela Marie says, I embrace the weeb. I am what I am, ashamed and proud at the same time. That's cool. Ashamed and proud. That's awesome. And Mo says, WTF, Dirk. I know, man. I do. Dirk, do not make me kick you from the panel. I know, man. Like I said, it's a few of the things that I watch. I watch mainly other things, like a lot of fantasy. And I still got my man card. I'm not as weeb as you think I am. So, but I get little hints of it. Weebery abounds for sure. I watched Akira once in high school, supposedly the greatest anime of all time. See, solid 6 out of 10. No biz.
Is it a show or is it a movie?
It's a movie. It's based on a manga. And
what's the main character look like?
Well, it's hard to say. Maybe I can find it for you.
Is that a guy or a girl's name?
It's a guy. Why don't you pick up the conversation, and I'll try to find a pic of Akira. How about that?
What conversation?
Well, you wanted to talk about some dragons and some stuff. Why don't you take them on that ride, and I'll start looking up some pics.
Well, I think it's interesting that so HBO just came out with a prequel to their Game of Thrones with the House of Dragon, which I believe is not a book in itself, but is a number of chapters in one of the Game of Thrones books. But to me, the first thing was I have HBO Max for free with AT&T Internet. I really wasn't interested in it. I was really into Game of Thrones when it was going on, but that last season totally ruined it for me. Like, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen any property turn into, especially for an ending. It was just god awful. But then when it rolled out on Sunday, I believe it was Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, it got 10 million views. That's crazy because I didn't think even HBO Max had that many viewers because they really don't got much going on with that for a streaming channel. But so that made me like, well, I might as well watch it, see. And I really enjoyed it. And the first thing I noticed is, man, HBO quality is just nuts. Like the music was great. I really loved the drums that they had.
Yeah, the production was awesome.
Yeah, when they showed the House Targaryen logo of like the 3 dragon heads, and that drum beat is just phenomenal. Like that was awesome. And
I wanted to see
so freaking real. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. The dragon did look real. What I wanted to see was a little more action. I was talking to you about that earlier.
Yeah, sure.
I expected something to have a little more shock value, kind of like the first episode of the first, Game of Thrones.
There's nothing shocking in the first episode of Game of Thrones.
I think so. When the kid falls, that was a little shocking.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they pushes him on. That is, yeah.
Yeah, that was a shock, man. You're just like, oh my gosh, he actually pushed that kid. That's crazy.
Yeah,
what an asshole.
How he did it too. He just got up and then just pushed him, and that was it.
Yeah, I was totally unexpected. That was unexpected altogether. And I was like, whoa, he just did that. And so that was a big deal.
I mean, I didn't expect. I mean, a lot of stuff did happen in one episode. Like, I didn't expect the king to have his wife and his new son die, and then him make his daughter the next queen.
I expected her to do something because it had that vibe of the first show, of the first episode of the first season.
Definitely knew she was important. Like,
yeah, she was important. So I knew they were going to move to make her something, whether she was going to be a warrior or become the princess, something.
I mean, gosh, the first scene you have with her, she's freaking riding a dragon. Like, come on. Yeah. Like, what other what other badass thing can you do to introduce a character? Like, man.
Yeah. So Mo says, Jay, you're setting a bad example for Murph, because Jay says, I have a.
Did you just go out? So what did you say? I have a bunch of comics, manga.
What's manga?
Man-ha.
Yeah.
Into the art. What's you
For
went
some reason
out?
I've lost control of the chat. It's not letting me chat.
Derek, you went out for a bit.
Oh, okay. So it's letting me. Yeah, I knew I did, but it wouldn't let me get control either. So I lost it. But it says you're setting a bad example, and then he's very impressionable. He puts jelly on his chili.
Dude, Mo.
I agree. I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Mo. You cannot say anything till you try it.
No, and you did this before you got COVID and lost your sense of taste. I mean, that is true. Well, Murph never had taste. Let's just be honest.
Is like Corky? Corky
From Life
was
Goes
the retarded guy, right?
It all goes over his head. That's awesome. He's a little like Corky, but he soaks it all up like a sponge.
Dude, I don't think I thought of that show in like 20 years. Like that's a member berry that was stored back there that I didn't even know I had. Wasn't Rob Lowe on that show? Didn't he have like AIDS?
Maybe. I never watched it. Manhwa is Chinese comics, Murph.
I thought Magna was Chinese comics.
Hail Immortal. Thanks for coming, man. Good to see you. This says, I saw an article that the showrunner says the birthing scene was about Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
So
I don't see that because that's not what happened. Like, she wanted to have a birth. They don't try to kill the baby. They open her up to have the baby. So
I mean,
to me,
that
doesn't even make sense. Like,
I guess I'm like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, if you never told me that, I wouldn't really care.
No, you would never know because honestly, that comment
it never would
make sense.
It didn't change the story except for the king now has to pick a new heir to the throne. Yeah. That's all. So other than that, they didn't make it political in the like with the king or anything. So I was like, yeah, all right, they can make it about that if they want to, or say it's about Roe versus Wade, but I don't think it was. They didn't do any dialogue that made me think it was woke or anything like that.
No, not at all. I was surprised with that too. Like,
thanks, Immortal. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. And if you can, share our show out. I know a lot of people have been streaming at the same time as us, but we were here first, and we're going to stay. That's just the way it is. But even though there may be more exciting shows, you're not going to get better than Murph and Dirk. So here we are.
You just said they were more exciting.
Exciting don't mean good. Manga's Japanese comics, Murph. And then why put that out into the ether at all, though? I know, I agree with you, Crazy Mad, but that's just because they're doing what they do. They can say whatever they want.
They want pats on their head.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all it's about. To me, though, it didn't change the story in a weird way. If I was just to watch that and never know about that Twitter post, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It never would have made an impact on me at all. So,
well, even after he says it, like I said, how did it have anything to do with Roe v. Wade? It's not like she had a baby she didn't want. They wanted the baby. They tried to save the baby. Like, do they not understand abortion is killing the baby? Like, that's not
right.
And, like,
yeah, and they're not aborting it. They're trying to birth it because it's breech. So, I mean, it makes no damn sense. It doesn't even look like an abortion. It looks like they're trying to free the baby so it don't die. And they're hoping
exactly
the mother lives through it. Well, I mean, but what I'm saying is they're hoping that the mother lives. So how is that a commentary on abortion? They're just, it just shows how stupid they are, in my opinion. So, yeah, Mo, someone else is streaming probably, but who cares? Because you're going to stay right here and hang with us. So it's all good. I already got your number, buddy. It was about the man making the decision for her. Yeah, I get that, but who cares? I mean, a king would do that. So in my opinion, man up.
Well, I mean, again, even without Roe v. Wade, that is what happens in real life. Like, they would talk to the husband.
In history, kings would make those choices. That's just the way it is. So to me, I'm like, they can make their man thing, hate on men, but it would have happened. The king would have made that choice. So I don't really care. You guys are so dense, they aborted the mother. They did abort the mother. You're right. Storm Riders by Wing Shing Ma is very good, Murph. Jay's on a whole different level right now. It was admittedly late turn. It's true. Yeah, it's true. I don't know, man. I'm like, I never would have thought about it or cared if they wouldn't have brought it up. So let them do what they do. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
I'm all about 40th.
Let them constantly do. Hey, I agree with you on something. Yay! Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is my political belief, and you believe it too. We're good people. Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't. So I'm all about 40th trimester abortions. They can drive and drink legally, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that's harsh, man. But you know what? I don't know. It's weird. I don't love the abortion thing, but I don't know. It doesn't.
I don't think I've had anyone.
It wouldn't have crossed my mind.
I don't love the abortion thing. Like,
no, I just mean the new decision.
Like, you know what I'm really into? I love abortions.
That's not what I meant. But what I'm trying to say is I don't love that we have these new laws. The way they come out, I think it was stupid. It could have been balanced better than what it was, but it always goes to one side or the other. That's what happens. You know what I mean? And we never get a full balance of anything whenever they make new laws. We always get it one-sided, fully to the left or right, and that doesn't mean politically. It just means this way or that way. And what can you do about it? So, and it always drives people absolutely insane. So I feel like we're in clown world. We live in clown world right now. So,
pretty sure clown world's happy.
Yeah. Well, House of the Dragon, episode 1, he gives it a 5 out of 10. Huh. That's interesting.
I
I'd give
think
it
I'd probably
a
give it an 8 out of 10. I thought nothing took me out of it.
6,
I
7.
I really liked the brother character.
Yeah. Dale 24 Eyes. Thanks for coming.
I liked him. You know what's the real funny thing is they not only did the directors or writers say that thing about the abortion, they also promised there won't be gratuitous sex or violence in the show. Well, they lied because episode 1 clearly went through all those.
It just had, like, it was all background stuff though. It wasn't like dominant character. I don't know.
Yeah, but the violence, are you kidding me? They're cutting off body
Yeah.
parts, a guy's face gets cut in half, like
Well, yeah, they're getting cleaved like during the battles at the jousting tournament. Yeah. Mo says I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I would say 6.5 to 7. I like the story. I think it was well produced.
very well produced.
Were good, but not enough action. I expected something a little more story moving that was going to progress us, other than just her becoming a queen. Or
they were building the whole like the board of the king, like all those characters, and
yeah, I know.
Again, the brother got a lot of time with his little army, and his dragon looks freaking awesome. The red and
the
black
dragon's doing
dragon.
good, man. Yeah, it is pretty.
I really, and his armor, his helmet was freaking awesome.
Yeah, the dragon helmet, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
good
awesome
design.
Yeah, that was really badass.
Crazy Mad was not impressed. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to give it more than one episode. That's for damn sure, because you got to get into this story. It's a different story. It's not going to be the same as the first series. So, I've got to give it a little more than this. Probably 3 episodes at least to figure out if I'm going to like this okay. Whereas with She-Hulk, I didn't have to give it 3 episodes.
Yeah, the She-Hulk thing's ridiculous.
I gave it 1, and it pretty much failed. So,
yeah.
Not to get off on the tangent of She-Hulk too long, but I feel like
who would have thought a Hulk versus Hulk battle would be boring as hell? Like, my gosh.
Yeah, man.
Like, their fight was the only cool thing about the whole episode was Hulk throwing a rock into outer space. That was awesome. Everything else was or boring.
Yeah, I feel like what they did was they've pretty much taken the power out of the Hulk altogether. He's just this.
Like, think about it. You had Captain America Civil War, where Ross basically compared Thor and Hulk to nuclear weapons, and now they're just bad jokes that are always sad and propel other characters.
Yeah. Like, and the more I think about Thor, the more pissed off I get. And so Thor was this great, powerful thing, and then and now he's just a bumbly and oaf. He's just something to be made fun of. He's the dumb, like, hero. He's blonde and stupid. You know what I mean?
Which, because like Ragnarok, he ended awesome, being the god of thunder. Then Infinity War, like, he went toe to toe with Thanos.
Yeah,
like he was
badass.
awesome.
He was badass in Infinity War.
Yeah,
and then because when he shows up with the new axe, what's it called?
Stormbringer.
Yeah, when he gets Stormbreaker, man, I'm like, damn, that was badass. And he shows up and he's just jumping in with lightning and just waylaying them all. I was like, that is awesome. But then we get to the next movie and it's like, he's just a dumbass. And I thought, he's a bumbling oaf. And then Hulk is this meek, torn down bullshit.
The Hulk is basically just Bruce Banner. That's who he is now.
Yeah, that's all it is now.
Bruce Banner.
Like, and I'm like, that's not the Hulk to me, and it's stupid. Well, and I could take it for a little bit if he was going to show her how to get her powers, but then she she like one-ups him on everything. She's like, oh, basically, I'm better than you, and says it out loud in the dialogue. And then she basically does everything better than him. She takes his thunderclap and actually like uses it against him. She tears down his bar that him and Tony built. Damn, she did so many things that just destroyed. And then, you know, she even made him look stupid for the shit he went through. You know, his life, you know, the torture he went through. She said, I'm not doing like you did. You basically went through hell. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, so you're putting him down because he had to live through these hells, and that makes you better again.
And man, I'm always
I was blown away.
I understand change can be better, but when you think of, so She-Hulk's actual story in the comic is she's a lawyer at first, and she's representing someone that there are people that are after the person she represents, and Bruce Banner tells her to drop the case because these people are going to try to kill her. She doesn't listen to him, and she actually gets shot at by these men because she's representing somebody. And so the Hulk gives his blood to her to save her life. And it's even the Hulk story in the first She-Hulk's better because he's Bruce Banner the whole time, not trying to be the Hulk so he can save her and fighting these gangster guys. It's such a better story than what you get.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they had to change it, you know?
She basically becomes She-Hulk because she's a woman and she's a bad driver. And that's what, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think they just made it to happenstance. You know, she just happened to get it. Not because he could save her. And I think they wanted to avoid him saving her. That's what I think they wanted to do. They didn't want the Hulk to save her.
Well, that's why they even did.
You know what I mean?
They did a whole that he's got a machine that he won't turn into the Hulk. Like,
yeah.
Just for that. Like,
Amanda B, thanks for coming by. She said, who's got the fever? Fantasy fever, right? It's Murph. He had the fever, the COVID fever, and now he's got the fever for House of Dragons. So it's all on Murph. Yeah, I was really disappointed with She-Hulk. Once she started talking about mansplaining and all those shit, and I was like, you know, he's got so much more experience than her, and she just shut him down every time, and then one-upped him, and I was like, so what's the point? You know, why go through this if all she's going to do is make him look stupid? Why have her go through this?
I thought it's funny with the speech that everyone's talking about. Is she's first like, I hate that I get catcalled, and I'm like, do people really even have that happen anymore? And then she's like, oh, mansplaining at her job, and I'm thinking like, okay, I guess that could happen. And then she goes, or I can get murdered, and it's like, wait, what? Wait, we went from catcalling to now you're going to get murdered. What are you talking about?
Well, it's bullshit. Yeah, it's a bullshit thing. And, you know, there are women who really like the catcalling, just to throw that out there. They do. They want attention. There are women who love attention.
Well,
and
the whole thing
that's not always true.
If any feminist that says women aren't about their bodies, exhibit A, TikTok. There's a million women.
Yes. It's all over the place. You're right. I agree. It's all about attention, man. So Amanda asks. Amanda B. She asks, "Did I miss?"
And the thing is, you know, in the trailer, she like takes compliments about her own ass. So I hate being catcalled. I'm going to show my ass.
Okay, hold on.
And then also, hey, let's keep talking about Captain America's ass, and that he's a virgin. Like, okay.
Well, they're allowed to talk about his ass because his is America's ass.
But still, that's totally hypocritical. Like,
I know it is. So Amanda asked, did I miss the question of the week? Yes, you did, Amanda. It's, do you put spines out on your bookshelf or do you put the covers out?
Amanda, you didn't miss much. I'm really disappointed in Crazy Mad. Like, that's a terrible question of the week. Like, that's probably the worst we've got.
Dang, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Crazy Mad. So just know that. I do the stuff when I get home from work and then relax. Yeah. Crazy Mad's like, you're always missing it, Amanda. So I get it. Wait, what? That's terrible. See, now she's saying Crazy Mad's question of the week is terrible. Yep. So there it
What
is.
was the one? Didn't Crazy Mad have one where he's like, "Would you rather your daughter be a stripper or a prostitute?"
Yes,
Like,
that was terrible. Man, my wife, she hated that one. Why'd
it was just like, what? Like,
but then Mo says, to make matters worse, Amanda, it turned into some weeb degeneracy.
Yeah, we got to stay away from the weeb stuff. We really do enter that in a lot of times.
And then Immortal Rising says, I do the stuff means smokes weed. Man, fronting people out tonight. Settle down, Amanda B. Man. Okay. Well, I think we mostly concluded that it spines out for most of us. Some of us put the faces out, but for the most part, you're going to put your spines to save room. I think that was the consensus. Maybe I'm wrong. So now,
I think that was a consensus.
Fantasy Fever. So, to me, House of Dragons come out. You got people getting into fantasy.
Does that surprise you that 10 million people watched it? Right, like when you think of how busy people are, and it's the summer, and it was a Sunday at 6, and 10 million people watch. Like, that's pretty crazy.
I think people are hungry for good content right now. I don't think they care if it's fantasy or if they just want a good show, and there's really nothing out there right now.
What was the last thing you watched where you're like, that was good? Probably Spider-Man, right? That Spider-Man movie was amazing.
Well, there's been a couple things that I've been watching outside of like comics and everything.
Like what?
That show on Prime with Chris Pratt.
Good point. That's a very good show. I haven't finished it yet.
What's it called? The Mortal List or the
Terminal List?
Terminal List. That's what it is. The Terminal List. And so I thought that was a good one. I'm also watching Animal Kingdom right now, but that one's just a little weird for me.
What is that?
Not that great.
What is that?
It's on Prime as well, but to me, they're trying to be edgy, but they're really not getting it. So
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. So it's okay, but Terminal List was very good.
Yeah. There's not many things though you could think of, right? I haven't seen Top Gun. You know, Top Gun beat Infinity Wars in domestic sales?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's about, the throwback, dude. It's about sentimental value.
Well, people do love America. So it's a very...
Wait, what show did I say? Oh, so I said I've been watching documentaries. Is that where you left off, Mo? I started saying that. But...
you said
Animal
Kingdom, but then we didn't hear you anything after that.
Oh, okay. Well, Animal Kingdom isn't that great. It's okay. But I've been watching documentaries. I've been watching like murder documentaries, and then I watched Woodstock '99. If you guys go,
yeah, I watched that too. That was great.
That was nuts. And actually,
did you finally see how wrong you were against bands like Korn and Limp Bizkit and how huge they were? Since you're a denier.
No, it proved me right. Actually, Korn was okay. It was Limp Bizkit. They're total assholes, dude. Go back and watch that documentary. They're fucktards.
What are you talking about? They did exactly what they're supposed to do at a concert.
No, they didn't.
Rile the crowd up.
You're a dipshit.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, really? They did nothing wrong.
No, what did he do that was wrong?
Okay. So they see that everybody's getting riled up, and they even talk to him, and they're like, "Look, man,
which is what happens at a concert.
This is nuts. Let me talk. Let me talk." And they go, "Look, everything's on the edge. This is getting bad." And they're like, "Oh well, let's go." And then they just rile them up, and I'm like, that's a real asshole. And then they said, "Hey, do you think things got a little out of hand?" He was like, "Oh no, it was great." And he's just a dumbass. So it made me lose respect for him even more. I really don't like
No,
that
he
guy.
did exactly that's what you do. You're
No, it's not.
entertainment.
You're not
he,
right about that.
While they were on, they didn't start any fire. If you watch the documentary, the fires and stuff started because the people.
That's before the fires.
Nothing was done wrong by any performer. Everything that was done wrong was by the people who had the concert going, where they didn't have enough bathrooms or food or water with the prices.
With that. I don't agree with you about the performers at all.
The performers didn't do anything wrong. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Limp Bizkit was an asshole.
No, if he was like light shit on fire, well then yeah, but that's not what happened.
He pretty much was. He was like, "Let's go," and he built him up. What do you mean? You're totally off on this one.
What
crazy man's right down that hole with you?
Wait a minute. What concert have you been at where the guy's like, "Hey, can we have everyone calm down as we play?"
Hey Mo, Limp Bizkit's just bad. They were bad before Woodstock. They were bad after Woodstock. They're bad now, and they should never have existed. So
that's crazy, dude. If it's just because you hate them. If you had any other band that did that in that situation, you'd be
because
like,
I didn't agree with Anthony Kiedis either. I think he was full of shit.
Wait, who's that?
Red Hot Chili Peppers? What do you mean? Who's that?
Oh yeah, what did he do?
So they asked him. They said, "Would you go out there and like talk to the crowd and help them kind of bring it down a little bit?" And he goes, "They're not going to listen to me. It don't matter." And then you know what they did? You know what they did? They go out there and they play Jimi Hendrix, Fire. Like right when they're trying to say, "Please, we don't want fires," and they go out and play Fire. That was an asshole move, man.
Again, though, this whole documentary, because you can even see what people talking about it, is trying to blame the bands. First of all, the people were given fire.
I'm not blaming the band.
By the people who had the concert going.
No, you're wrong about blaming the band.
Anything wrong?
I'm not blaming the band. What I'm saying is, look, I'm sorry, my dog's going crazy. No, I'm not blaming the band. What I'm blaming them for is the fact that they aren't trying to help the situation, knowing that it was getting crazy and out of hand. They had heard all kinds of shit. They knew bad stuff was happening, but they were like, "Who cares? Let's do this." And it was like, okay, I understand getting the crowd riled up. You want to do that a lot of times. But at that point, things were so far out. It was an incredible, crazy time.
Can you give me an example where a band's been able to cool down a crowd? Because I can't think of one.
Well, you don't know of any. It's not that you can't think of it.
Every concert I've ever been to, even if they've like, "Hey, let's sit down and have a moment or something," people don't sit down. They don't.
Oh yeah, I've been to concerts where they bring the mood, like where they bring the noise level down. They bring everything quiet, and then everything gets like real. Yeah, I've seen the whole noise floor fall. So
I've never
I don't think
seen
you're
that.
right about that at all.
I've seen that Rock on the Range where they've asked people to do stuff and the crowd won't do what the musicians ask them to do.
Maybe. I'm not saying they do it every time, but I'm saying they didn't even try.
Yeah, because that's not on the bands. That's not what they're entertainers. They're not.
Yeah, but you can entertain.
You want the crowd to come down. You get the police to come in. You get the.
There's still things the band could do to like.
I don't think so.
Help, but they didn't even try, man. They were just like, "Nah, it's okay. We're not going to do it. Light it up,
I don't think it's their responsibility.
I don't know about that. I don't.
That'd be like a police officer going to you, be like, "Hey, could you go in that house? There's a lot of noise to get them to stop." That's not your responsibility.
No, there's a difference when you're the band. I just don't agree with you on this at all. Bro, they had shit fields and $12 bottle of water. It wasn't the band's fault. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I'm not blaming only the bands. I think the bands had a piece of it. I think it was mostly the promoters.
I think every musician that played is exonerated from any actions that had happened.
They're not exonerated. No way. They could have at least tried. They didn't even try. They didn't even say, "Hey, guys."
Every band got like an hour to play. Like, it's not like.
Nah, even
There's nothing
MTV
you
was
can
like,
do.
"What the fuck? We're out of here. That's just crazy. We're done. We're
Who
gone."
was?
MTV, even they were like, "This is fucked up. We're out."
Yeah, they didn't leave early though. They left after the whole
They left
concert
early.
was.
Nope, they left early.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they left early. Once things started getting real crazy, they were like, "We're gone." It wasn't even over yet. They left.
It was over because they were there for the Jimi Hendrix video thing.
It was still going on though. Everybody hadn't dispersed or anything, and they were getting out before the music was over.
Well, yeah, because the Jimi Hendrix thing came on, and they're like, "Holy crap!" They made it sound like there was going to be a surprise band, and they're like, "Well, we better leave because people are going to be super pissed now."
Yeah, I mean, they're right. The promoters were wrong in that piece of it. You're right.
The promoters were wrong in every which way. Like,
yeah. Well, the dumb thing was they thought that it was going to be a Woodstock, 60, what was it, 67 all over again. And it's the most ridiculous thing ever because it was based on marketing, not on, like peace and love. But yet they're promoting peace and love, but there was no peace and love in that place whatsoever, Okay, Mo, what I keep? Ugly Tongue cools down the crowd every time they refuse to play Don't Be Brutal. It's true. It's true. Yeah.
No, you guys always have dancers. You guys always have people dancing in the front.
Yeah, we do. We do. I don't know, man. I think it's a weird thing to think about,
I feel like even the documentary tells you that everything was the fault of the people running the concert, and they want to blame the musicians, where it was the people running.
I wouldn't just blame the musicians. I would say they had a small part, but I do think they do have some responsibility. So for you to say they don't, I think that's wrong.
I don't. How are you supposed to control other people? That's crazy thought.
No, it's not about that you will control them. It's that you try. I mean, they didn't even make an attempt to say, "Hey, let's try something different, guys." You know what I mean? They didn't even do that. They didn't even talk to the crowd. They were just like, "Fuck it, yeah!" And then it just kept leveling up every time. And by that point, it's a fever.
What are you supposed to do?
So it makes
We're
no
going to play
sense.
our 10 very rocking songs. We want you to all just stand there and clap. Like what are you going to do as a band? Like, that's just
no, we don't want them to stand and clap, but we definitely don't want shit lighting on fire either.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with them. Even again, the people who ran it handed out 1,000 of fiery candles to people.
Shit.
People
say that again. I froze up.
The fire started because the people running the concert gave out candles of fire to everybody. Like,
yeah, I know.
That was
that was a dumb move too. I agree with you. Mo says, I don't think the band deserves any blame at all. If someone's out there going crazy over Limp Bizkit, they have other issues going on. Yeah, I agree. Any of you all that like Limp Bizkit, you're just, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Excuse me. I agree with that, except I do think there's a small responsibility to attempt something. You know what I mean? You could attempt to.
What? So give me what would be the attempt? How would that look?
Well, I don't know, Murph. I've never been in that situation. What I would say is, I would think that you would at least try to, quell that a little bit. I would think that you would want to at least breach it and say, hey, everything's getting pretty fast. Just call it out. Everything's getting out of hand, guys. Let's bring it down a little bit. Let's not be lighting shit on fire, tearing the tower down. I mean, what's going on here?
Well, first of all, again, Limp Bizkit, when they went out there, nothing bad had happened at that point. And
no, that's not true.
They started singing, and the crowd goes nuts because they've been waiting for them.
No, so there was a lot of bad stuff going on at that time.
Huh?
There was a lot of shit going on at that time, and they knew about stuff. There was stuff happening.
Wasn't.
Yeah, in the rave. Yeah, there was a lot of shit going down in the rave. There was a lot of bad stuff.
What are you talking about? Limp Bizkit wasn't even there for the third day. They were there on the second day. Korn was on the
Right.
first, Limp Bizkit was on the
And
second.
that first night got crazy because after Korn, everybody went to the rave at night.
Sure, but nothing happened the first night. Nothing bad happened the first
You're
night at
wrong.
all.
The first night, it was crazy. People
What
got
are you
raped
talking-
that first night.
Huh?
Yeah, rapes. Rapes happened that first night.
They didn't say that at all in the documentary.
Yes, in the van. It drives up real slow.
Yeah, that's day 2. That's not day 1.
I thought that was day 1 after Korn.
No,
because after Korn, they went
nothing
nuts and they went
happened
into
day
the rave
1.
house.
That's why even day 2, where they have the people of the band have the interview, day 1 went off perfect.
Okay.
They said nothing
Okay, I
bad
got the
happened day
timeline
1.
mixed up on that. But still, I just feel that there was something they could do. Even trying. Trying is better than nothing, though. They did nothing.
But honestly,
and they blew it off like,
hey,
oh, well.
What does Fred Durst come out and be like, hey, can we calm down? Like, what do you say?
Maybe. You know what? That would be better than not doing jack shit, Murph, and just going, fuck it.
So you're going to go.
Yeah, I think you're way wrong on this. I'm sorry.
You want Fred Durst
You're not going to get me on this. Sorry.
Hey, so you want Fred Durst to say, hey, can everyone calm down? Now our next song is Break Stuff. Like what? How is that?
Don't sing Break Stuff. You're a dumb fuck. He's a dumbass anyway.
That's one of his best songs. Like
they have a best song? Wow.
Yeah, they do. They have hit songs.
I don't understand how, but okay.
Because you don't understand that generation.
What?
They have a bunch of hit songs.
No, there's no not accepting that generation. It's the fact that they just sucked.
That's not true.
It is true.
They've sold a lot of albums.
That don't mean shit. There's a lot of bands that have sold a lot of albums that are no good.
That's your opinion.
Really,
that's not a fact.
Yeah. Well, it's your opinion. They're great. So it's the same thing. This argument's going back in circles.
I'm telling you they sell because they have that many
It
fans.
is your opinion when you said they're a great band. And that's what you said. They were a great band.
Hey,
so
you watched the documentary.
It's the same argument, Murph. You're throwing that argument at me. It's the same shit. You're saying the same thing.
What?
You say they're great, and I say it's an opinion. I say they're not great, and you say it's an opinion. It means the same thing. You're saying the same thing I am.
I said that I said that they've had big hit songs. You go, they have a hit song.
Yeah. There's a lot of bands with big hit songs that don't make shit.
They've made tons of money. And again, Woodstock 99 was one of the biggest concerts ever.
And a lot of bands made money. It doesn't mean they're good. It just don't. So this is Tetsuo. Tetsuo is from Akira. So you want to see pictures and know what this is, that's what this is.
No, that doesn't ring any bells. I have no idea what that is.
Let me show you this.
That's the main character?
Yeah, one of them. And there's Akira. The cover for Akira.
No, I've never seen that at all. That looks like what's his name's cover with that girl.
What's that?
That looks like that motorcycle looks like the girl from B Rose's comic.
That's not a girl.
That's not a girl on B Rose's comic with the red motorcycle?
Well, that's kind of the homage. So
okay.
There's a little bit of that, like, that motorcycle is kind of famous looking, and the fact that I think B Rose has that throwback to it a little bit, which is nice. So, yeah, they headlined the biggest concert in 50 years. Who gives a shit? There's a lot of bands that have headlined big concerts and don't mean shit. So
that's your opinion, though. I mean,
it's your opinion too.
No,
it's all your opinion.
It shows they're successful. You can't deny it.
But you can say any band's successful. You can take any success and say it's in.
No, that's not true.
It is true. It's all opinion, whether you like it or not.
Derek, that's a fact that they headlined one of the biggest concerts in the history of mankind. That's not an opinion. They have sales bigger than most rock bands that have ever existed.
Yeah,
those are true
a lot
things.
of other shitty bands. Who
that
really
it shows
cares?
That the multitudes of people
really cares?
think they're good.
All you're doing is throwing a fact out about something that doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that they're no good.
No, that's not a fact. That's an opinion.
And what you're saying is an opinion too, that you like them,
No,
they're great and all
they
that stuff.
are
They're not that great.
popular. They're popular because they're
They're more
good. That's what
popular. They're not
popularity
popular.
does.
They're not
Shows
popular
and
now.
movies that are good make money. The same thing
They're
with
not
bands.
popular now. They were popular.
They just played a big concert this year. Remember, with his new look and everything? There's still a big deal. Like Limp Bizkit is up there when it comes to time periods of a band being successful. It's not like one-hit wonders. They had
I won't take away the
length of a
success.
career.
I never said they weren't successful. You said they were great. They're not great.
Well,
there's a difference.
They're definitely great to do what they
great
did at
is an
Woodstock,
opinion.
to headline.
Great is an opinion. No matter what you
that's
say,
not true.
great is an opinion. Yes, great is an opinion. It is.
You can say that, but it could back it up with a number of things.
It doesn't matter if you can back it up. It's still an opinion.
You could say that, but that's your opinion about having an opinion.
No, saying something is great is an opinion.
So Tom Brady isn't great? That's just an opinion? Mozart isn't great? That's just an opinion?
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of people that don't like Tom Brady, and they don't.
So
think
he's not great because people don't like him.
I'm not saying
that's not how things
have
work.
accomplishments. There's a difference, Murph. You're missing the point.
Tom Brady has accomplishments, and so does Limp Bizkit.
It doesn't make them great. It just means you think
that's nuts.
And that's awesome.
That's crazy.
It's not great.
Thought. That's
it's
like Lord of the Rings isn't great. It's just everybody freaking watches the movies and reads things.
No, I know a lot of people that hate Lord of the Rings. They can't sit through it, and they won't sit through it. So it's
sure, but that doesn't make it less great because there's outliers.
But to those people, it is less great, Murph. It's an opinion.
That's what
I'm trying to get at.
Then you're saying there's no such thing as actual facts in life and everything's an opinion.
No. The facts, I'm not taking anything away from the fact. The fact is if they sold a lot of sales, if they had a lot of like big headline shows, if they do all that, that's fine. Facts are facts. But for you to say they're great is an opinion. It doesn't mean they're great. It means they've had a lot of success. I never said they didn't have success. I just don't think they're
success and greatness doesn't collide. Then what does make greatness?
I don't know, because greatness to me is all about opinion. So it
time for it. Great. The word greatness is all based on opinion and nothing factual. Yeah, Justin Bieber is the highest selling artist to be born in the last 30 years. I'm pretty sure people would consider Justin Bieber to be great because of that. You're not successful because you're not great.
That's not always true. That's not always true. There's things that can be successful and not be great. There are a lot of things that can be done like that.
Like?
You named a lot. I mean, bands are always about taste. It's never about being, you can think they're great. It doesn't mean they are.
So Beatles, great. Elvis, Michael Jackson. No, they're not great.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that hate those bands. A lot of people hate those bands. They don't like them.
You're saying a lot of people. Where's the definition of a lot?
I mean, I've met tons of people through the years, Murph, that have varying opinions on all this.
So these bands sell millions of copies, and you talk to 1,000 people who don't like them, and it's like, well, that 1,000 really, really knows more than the millions.
I'm just gonna, yeah. You know what? You're exactly right. The machine. So look at what Art and Times of Jay Ryan says. This goes back to me talking about the machine, saying they're popular because they're good. You often get fed things through pop culture that are subpar, not because it's good, but because the machine is behind them. So you get more eyes on it. So that's all they know. It's not because that's the greatest thing ever.
Everything in culture would be the same amount of success as the other things.
No,
that
it's
doesn't
not.
happen.
So look at this. Do McDonald's have the greatest hamburgers?
Well, that's more about a price and convenience.
No, it's not. Look how many sold. Look what the numbers they used to put on the signs. 1 billion sold. Remember that?
No, what are you talking about?
You don't remember on McDonald's signs they would say over 700,000 sold, or they would say 1 billion sold. Talking about their sales.
No, but that's cool.
Mm-hmm. They would do that.
Was that like a yearly thing, or did they like hit a mark?
No, it was all over their store. Every store would have like a sign out front like that. Now think about that. So
just for their store,
that is popularity.
Or like all McDonald's together were
just a lot of different stores would. You'd go in different towns and you'd see it saying that on all the signs. It would say something like that. Okay, that's a lot of sales. That doesn't mean they're really the greatest hamburger. It just means they sold a lot.
So people buy things because it's not good and they don't like it. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, well, it makes me question sometimes, like, so if you look at McDonald's over like another fast food, I really
Burger
do think
King, Wendy's, Five Guys,
there is
other things out there. People have choices.
Mm-hmm. Then why does McDonald's sell so much? You know what I mean?
Because people like it.
I think that's a different subject, but are they the greatest?
The Beatles are overrated.
See, there you go. There's somebody.
I do hate Yellow Submarine. I think that is one of the worst songs ever.
See, look at this. Crazy Mad, Mo Biggs. Look at that. They don't think they're great.
Huh?
They don't think the Beatles are great. The Beatles went downhill after Paul died. They replaced him with Paul II. I love it. But it's making my point. I think McDonald's is shit. I think McDonald's is shit. They just made my point. They're saying they don't.
Wait, what's their point? That your opinions make something not great? I would say something's great is based off of factual success. You guys can say something's not great because it's your opinion.
That's not always true, Murph.
But again, what do you mean it's not true? Is there $1 billion person that's feeding burgers down people's throat, or are there millions of people buying their product? We live in America where things are successful because people have a free will to use their money for it. So even though something could be sucky to you, that doesn't take away its greatness because the multitudes like it.
It can take away greatness if you don't think it's great.
Tell me something that's great that's not been successful, and then I'll be like, oh, okay.
Man, I think there's a lot of things that are great that are not as successful. You know what I mean? But that's opinion. Once again, it's an opinion. Successful? Well, I mean, that kind of put me on the spot.
Sure.
To think of something right now.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what's something where it's like, man, this should have been amazing. You know what I mean?
Look at this. So why do you think movies have marketing budgets that are as much, if not twice as much as the film costs to produce? People won't naturally gravitate to things unless you shove them into commercials. Yeah, I mean, it's true. That's why marketing is such a big deal.
If that was true, you wouldn't have movies that don't it, and then like we just had Maverick smack it. Like Maverick didn't have the marketing that Marvel does or Disney. And again, because it's great, it's successful. You could try to make something great by putting money.
Maverick had, what do you call it? The sentimental stuff. It was the throwback. It was the, because they liked the first Top Gun, it built off that.
The first Top Gun wasn't even that successful as this is.
Culture-wise, yes. It has its own following, and it's built a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people like that movie in history.
You think Top Gun 1 was as successful as this movie is? It's not even close.
I never said that. How did you get that? I said a lot of people liked the first movie. And because they liked it, it spilled over into the second movie.
30 years later? This isn't a sequel that was made like 2 years after the first one.
No. But you're talking about our generations that have grown up and said, you know what? I remember that movie when I was young and I liked it. and I want to see what they're going to do.
Sure,
with
if
this
that
new
was
one.
true, where's our Goonies 2? And you know how many 80s movies we don't have sequels
Everybody's
to?
already asked that. That question's already been asked. That's
think
why
we're
we got
getting
the
a
new
Goonies 2?
Ghostbusters. I mean, everybody was wanting one. It doesn't mean we're going to get it.
Wait, there were people asking for a Top Gun 2? Where was that?
I don't know if people were asking. What I'm saying
Not at
is,
all.
once they announced it, though, then they were like, oh, yeah. And then, shit, it was on. Because it's nostalgia. That's the word I'm thinking of. Nostalgia.
No, that's not. No, it's a good movie. The first week didn't make tons of money. It's good because people like it. It has nothing to do with marketing.
Let me just tell you that the word of mouth after the movie came out
Yeah.
was a big deal for that. But it was also about nostalgia, because the word of mouth came out as nostalgia. The buzz that I heard about that movie was about what was it like? And they would say, oh, it's a lot like the first one. It's a really good story, but they do a lot of throwbacks to what the first movie was all about. And everybody's like, ooh, I got to see it then. And that's what went out. That was the word of mouth that happened with Maverick.
Yeah, that it was a good movie.
Oh my gosh, you missed it. So you missed it again.
No, you're trying to make it that it's nostalgia, but that's not what.
I'm trying to make it that nostalgia helps spread the word.
It was a good movie. That's what spread the word.
Based on nostalgia.
What, dude?
It had
every
the throwback
Disney movie
as well.
has nostalgia. All of the new, all the Disney cartoons they've made into live action is nostalgia.
Think about this, Murph.
And they're not.
So if you would take away the first Top Gun movie and just make Maverick as the first movie, we never saw Top Gun.
Yes.
Top Gun was not a thing.
Yes.
How popular do you think Maverick would have been?
I think it would be as popular as it is because
it's
wiped out the first movie.
It wouldn't have made as much because
that's crazy.
The word of mouth would have gone. I believe that because it would have been a good movie. But I also believe that you wouldn't have had the nostalgia for people to want to pick it up. They'd be like, "What's that?" And I think it would have been a sleeper hit or something like that. I think it would have been something that people.
I mean, it is a sleeper hit. No one thought it would make this much.
It's a big hit.
Oh, it's not a big hit. It's a huge hit.
That's what I mean, Murph. Quit mincing my words.
Well, no, but it's the first movie is not even comparable to the success of this one.
I'm just saying, if you would only take that movie, it wouldn't have been as big. If it wouldn't have had Top Gun 1 to build off of, it just wouldn't have. It had nostalgia and it had people's memories. So everyone has their own definition of great. Who decides something's great? Popular doesn't mean great. It just means popular. And that's what
I would say greatness is success. Right? That's why you have your Hall of Fames.
What?
I would say greatness is success.
No, I don't think so. There's a lot of success. There's a lot of people who sell stuff. Like, I think of mumble rappers, and I'm like, those guys are having a lot of success. They have a lot of sales. I can't identify it. I can't identify why. I don't consider that great. I can't. Yeah, there's mumble rap. That's a thing.
Well, yeah, they're successful in their genre, but it's not.
They're successful, and
Limp Bizkit wasn't successful just in their genre. They went outside of it.
How?
By headlining Woodstock '99,
that's not outside their genre. Bands. What the fuck are you talking about? It's still their genre. They didn't change their genre. They just went to a concert.
What are you talking about? You don't hear mumble rappers on radio. Limp Bizkit would be on pop radio. They were huge.
No.
You can't even name a mumble rapper. Everyone knows who Limp Bizkit is.
Yes, I can name a mumble rapper. But
people know who Fred Durst is.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean they're great. It just means they got popular. They got known. They were notorious for something. It doesn't mean they're great.
Successful than any mumble rapper's been.
It doesn't mean a damn thing. So Biden has the most votes in history. He must be the greatest president ever. Good one, Mo. I love it.
Successful.
Most spitting facts. Look at that. Yeah, I don't know. I, I mean, yeah. Also losing in popularity. So you could think of that as
Yeah,
success.
but it's tough to say you're successful when there's only two people running and one thing as a president. It's not like he's went outside of presidency and's done anything. That's not the same thing of people willfully giving their money and time into someone. There's no one in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that you haven't heard of.
But there's a lot of people who give money and time to things that are shit. They do. They give their money and time to a lot of shit.
If something's
that's my point. So when you say they're successful, it's an opinion.
It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion when you can show money. People have given their money to something because they enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
That's
people
success.
Give money to shit. It's a success. It's a success. You're right. Success doesn't mean great. So
to be great, you have to have success.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
There are things that go under the radar that I think is great that, other people may not think is great.
See, but you're basing your stuff on what Derek likes. I'm basing it off the multitudes of people who are willing to pay money and time into things, which are two totally different things. What Derek likes it means you like it. It doesn't mean it's successful.
Hmm?
But when you have the amounts of money that people are willing to give, it's successful. People just don't throw their money around.
Yeah. I think Porcupine Tree is great. I think their band is great. I think the talent is at a top level. I think they've done some amazing.
But they're not successful like Limp Bizkit.
But they're not successful like Limp Bizkit. You're right. But would I put them in a category above Limp Bizkit? Fuck yeah. And they're greater.
Again, you're going back to Derek's opinion.
But that's my point. It is my opinion.
Oh, Derek, you're literally saying my opinion matters than the whole world's opinion. That's exactly what you're saying.
No, it's not. That's not.
I'm saying things are successful by the multitudes of people who will give time and money into something.
You're saying it's successful, not great. There's a difference. Success is different than greatness.
I don't think you can be great without success.
Yeah, you might be right about that, but I still think they're two different things that add up. You know what I mean? What's the definition of great? What's the actual definition of great? Instead of making great a word you want it to be. I don't know. I have no idea. So, yeah, but that's...
I'm actually interested in what...
Yeah, so by that standard, EVS isn't successful. So, Murph has the whole world even heard Porcupine Tree to compare them to Limp Bizkit. That's
of an
part
extent,
of it too.
Amount, or intensity considerably above the normal or average. The ability, quality, or eminence considerably above the normal or average.
Okay.
And they give examples of the Beatles and Bob Dylan are the greats. Excellence, very well. I would have thought it's better than just normal or average.
That's what I'm just telling you, man.
To me, it is about opinion. Not as good.
Yeah, EVS only sold 20,000 comics, and Chainsaw Man.
Are you on mute?
EVS is a failure. No, why?
Am I not talking? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Am I not talking? You can't hear me at all?
Derek, can you hear me?
Yep.
I can't hear you. I see your mouth moving. You can hear me?
You can't.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all?
Can the chat hear you?
I don't know. Look, we're getting into very ugly territory. People probably hate us now because of this argument. Can you guys hear me at all?
Can the chat hear both of us? And I just can't hear you?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Oh, we can hear both of you. There you go. There you go. So Angela Marie says she can hear both. Or Crazy Matt says leave. Can you hear me now? you guys hear me? I don't know what's going on with Murph. It went mute or something. So anyway, I agree. Yeah. I hope everybody wants to read Ballad of the Celestials because it is worth reading. And it is an opinion, but you know what? I think it's a great book. And if you guys give it a chance, it's going to be pretty cool. So, in my opinion, hopefully you realize.
All right, I can hear you now.
Okay. But did you see Mo's opinion here?
No, I was trying to figure out the sound stuff. What's going on?
Okay. Ballad of the Celestials must not be worth reading in Murph's opinion, not even in the ballpark of Limp Bizkit's international renown.
Well, I never said Limp Bizkit's more successful and is greater than us. I would say that, yes. They're greater.
I mean, they're more popular for sure and more successful because that's true. Doesn't mean they're greater, but yeah.
Yeah, because something that's popular sucks. Like,
it did. Man, yeah, there's a lot of popular shit that sucks.
But I'm going to listen to it and pay my hard-worked money to stuff.
No, there's a lot of things that are popular that are not good that I don't like. A lot. Rap is one thing.
There's a lot. You should be able to give a lot of examples.
I gave you mumble rap. I hate mumble rap, but it's popular. It's very popular. It's doing a lot of sales.
What sales? What?
Well, I can't give you the sale. I don't have the numbers, but it is true that it is a popular art form. It's doing sales. And a lot of kids, like my boys, listen to it.
I bet you if you went on the street and go, hey, name a mumble rapper to anybody, they'll be like, what?
You're right.
You go, hey, who's the lead singer of Limp Bizkit?
Wait a minute.
They'll say Fred Durst.
But back then, Murph, let's say whenever grunge came out and Alice in Chains was there, do you think people knew Lane Staley? But they know him now. That's a different thing. You can't say that. They're new, so a lot of people aren't going to know him yet. But there's a buzz and there's a young crowd that's going after him.
Wait, you're telling me people didn't know who Eddie Vedder was when Pearl Jam was
popular? My parents couldn't tell you who he was.
What?
I don't know. I don't know how to talk to you sometimes. You're
okay.
So.
ask your dad who Eddie Vedder is and see if he says Pearl Jam.
I don't. He might now because those bands have been around for a very long time. But back then, he could not tell you that. He could not tell you that early on. Just like these mumble rappers are successful right now, but he couldn't tell you who they were. I can't tell you who they were, but my kids can. My kids can tell you them. They could name them off.
But that doesn't mean they're successful.
It means they're popular. It means the kids are following it.
By what state? Like, have they sold 1 million copies? Have they sold 10 million copies?
I haven't looked at the sales. What I'm trying to tell you is,
well, all you're telling me is because your son knows something that it's successful. That doesn't mean it's successful because your son's into something.
You're out. You know what I mean?
You went in and out.
No, what I'm saying is, you're getting older, so you're getting out of touch with what's hip, new, popular. You're not in that pulse anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about Billie Eilish or
that's a very small
Bambino.
That's a very small scope.
Huh?
That's a small scope, dude.
What are you talking about? That's a small scope.
It's only a little bit of music. It's not necessarily what's going on with the kids. It's not necessarily what's big and popular out there, man.
They're not. Those two people I just named aren't big and popular. Okay.
That's not what I said. See, you're missing the point. Jim, yes, this is how our conversations go, which is why we named the show Murph and Dirk Duke It Out.
Yeah.
So, yes, this is what I have to put up with most of the time. This is a special night, Jim. Yes, this stream is not successful. See, it's an opinion. That is an opinion.
We have 40 views. If 40 views are successful.
That's pretty good. I think that's pretty successful. In fact, that's more successful than I had the last 2 streams. So I don't agree with that opinion either. Murph just looked up the definition of greatness where the word sales or even popularity did not appear, and he's making this argument. I know who Billy is, but never heard the song of hers. So, yeah, that's what I mean. It's all in the eye of the beholder. It's all in what you think is great, and it's all in how you perceive it. It's not necessarily how everybody is, and it's not what everybody's going to think. When I think of Limp Bizkit, I think of bullshit. When I think of other bands, I think of greatness. So it just depends on the band. It depends on what it is. It does not depend on sales. I'm not looking at numbers. Go, well, I better look up that sales number to know if they're going to be great for me. No, I don't do that.
I don't know. I don't live into a world like I don't like this person, so they're not successful. Like,
nope. I said great, not successful. See, once again, you're mixing up words.
Okay, I can see someone's great that I don't like at all, but I still understand they're great because the multitudes of people like them, especially when it comes to music.
I can appreciate that people like something. I appreciate that you guys like Limp Bizkit, and I understand the appeal because the rap metal mix is cool. I like how that happened. But I'll take what's the band that you and I talk about all the time?
I mean, we talk about a lot of bands.
No, it's the one that's like metal and rap mixed, and they got some.
There's a
they
bunch
did
of
Satellite.
them.
No, they did Satellite and
POD?
Youth of a Nation. Huh?
POD.
Yeah, POD. See, they're a similar music to Limp Bizkit, you know.
Yes.
And I like POD. I don't like Limp Bizkit. So I would take POD millions of times more than Limp Bizkit. So
yeah, I like POD
it's just
better
an opinion.
Too.
It's just an opinion.
Who's the guy that they call the boss?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That's a perfect example. So Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. But
either.
I'm not like, oh, he's not great because Kevin doesn't like him. I'm like,
no,
people love him.
Yeah, they do. I don't get the appeal. I don't.
Neither do I.
So I don't think he's great. I think
but I'm like, he's
him.
great because people like him.
I don't know. I don't think that. I don't think he's great just because people like him.
He's huge.
That don't mean shit to me.
That's so weird. It's
not weird. It means they're not better than me just because a lot of people like them. I mean, that's weird.
Better than me.
That's like, it's worship. You're worshiping somebody that's just popular for no reason. You don't even like his music and you're worshiping him. You know what I mean? That's weird. Yeah, you're thinking he's this level above you because he's popular. It makes no sense.
What do you mean above? I don't think any musician's above me. But I could see I don't get his stuff at all. But the multitudes of people like him, so he must be good at what he does.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that from him at all. I think he does okay, but it doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. And so I've got to let people have
That's
that.
why I think greatness is
but I don't call it great.
It's not subjective.
Well, if it's you're still making an opinion on it.
What?
It's still an opinion.
Objectivity is not an opinion. It can't be. That goes against what objectivity is.
Well, I think any of that. I think when you're talking music or anything like that, you're talking about something that is an opinion. You can never nail it down to just one thing.
Well, then you're saying there's no facts in life and everything's an opinion.
No, there's facts. There's just not. You can't say definitively this is definitely great. You can say it for yourself, but that doesn't mean somebody else is going to view it that way. So it has to, it has to be able to change. Rod Stewart had the largest concert attendance in history at over 3 million. Murph will fight to the death anyone who questions his status of the greatest musician who ever lived.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, Mo's right. Clearly I'm in the wrong where 3 million people put their time and effort. He must suck. You're right. He must suck.
Shit.
Those 3 million
Nobody
people,
said he sucks.
Those
that's
3 million
the thing.
people were tied
That's
down
the thing.
to be
Why,
at that
Murph,
concert.
hold on. Ask yourself, why does it have to be he either sucks or he's the greatest? Why can't you go, okay, he's decent, but I don't think he's the greatest just because he sold a lot of concert sales? That makes no sense.
I'm not saying never did I make the argument if something sucks or great, but there are things that are great.
Your argument says we say he sucks. Your argument says you say we say he sucks. That's not right.
What?
So
say
you
what?
just said we said he sucks because That was your like sarcastic retort. But the truth is, we never said he sucks. We just don't think he's great.
Okay. But again, you're trying to make everything as subjective, and I'm saying no. There are objective things in the world that you can't argue against.
Okay. Mo has a big point. Dirk, when are you going to admit that Macarena was the greatest song of the 90s? I can't deny it.
It was a huge hit. And the funny thing is, you still know it, and you can sing it.
Yeah, I think that song was oh my gosh. Talk about one of the weirdest and craziest songs that ever come out. I still think it's the weirdest shit ever. It's popular.
Did they ever say what the word means?
No, but okay, that's a perfect point, man. You're making my point a million times over. It's one of the dumbest songs ever written. It's really dumb. But what do all these mindless people who listen to it and dance to it, what do? They freaking push its popularity over the top.
See, but Derek, here's the thing. You saying it's dumb is subjective. Objectively, millions of people have loved it. You can't make an objective thing subjective. And that's what you're trying to do.
No, what I can't do is agree with you because it's really...
Because you want to be subjective when I'm giving you facts. And you just want to be like, well, I don't care about the fact because I disagree.
Nope, that's not true. I care about the fact. I don't call it great because of the fact. That's the difference. And that's what you're missing.
No, so you're using the one great. I've used the word successful as well. It's not successful?
No, I said success. I said Limp Bizkit is successful. I said that. You can say all kinds of things are successful.
No, you can't. There has to be objective facts for something to be successful.
Yeah, it is. They are successful. So was the Macarena. I still think it's one of the dumbest songs that ever been written.
Okay, but you got to say no. You're twisting things. Are you talking about something? Are you talking about something objectively or subjectively? You got to pick a lane, dude.
No, I did pick a lane. I'm in my lane. So it's just what Murph said. Or I mean, what Mo Big said. Murph, most of these millions of people who loved it at the time would probably now admit the song was dumb. It's not considered a classic that stood the test of time. That's right.
I didn't say it was
made fun classic. Of. But it had a hell of a lot of sales. And it was successful. And it was popular. Successful. It's popular too.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
Now, did I ever say anything successful is great? No, but I said anything that's great is successful. So you guys try to twist me to get me in a corner where I'm being objective and you're being subjective, saying I'm wrong about being objective, which is ridiculous.
You did say that.
What?
No, it's not. You even said that because Limp Bizkit was successful, they were great. That's what you said.
I was saying they were great, and I can back it up with their success.
But that means the same thing. If you're saying they're successful, you're saying
that's
they're great.
Objective.
And you even said that. But I equivalate success as greatness. You even said that out loud. You said it.
But I'm still talking about success.
But greatness does not mean success always.
Again, you're using the word greatness as a subjective term of what you think is great. So what is an objective thing that makes something great? Let's do that. Since you want to make greatness of subjective action.
Well, anytime that I say something is great, another person can get on here and say it's not great. And that's my point. Greatness comes down to opinion. Greatness means a lot to you. I think it's something great is when something has value to you. And that could look like anything. It could be music that is great to you. It could be a movie that's great, or a story. It could be a character. It could be anything that you think holds a lot of value, whether it's sentimental or the way it's made or put together or how it sales. It can be whatever you think, but that doesn't mean the next guy is going to come along and think the same thing as you just because of the numbers you put out or the reasons why or whatever. The word
great is always a subjective thing. There's never a fact to greatness.
I think mostly, yeah, because I think that it's dependent. Like, I mean, look at the basketball.
The definition I looked up
Hold
says
on.
it's something that's better than normal.
Take the greatest basketball players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they? Name them. The top 2, right, of all time. Name them. Hello?
What do you mean when it comes to when you're saying greatness? What are you talking about?
Who are the 2 top greatest basketball players of all time?
What are you asking my opinion? Are you talking about scoring?
Yeah,
defense,
no, tell
all
me.
around stats.
There's 2 names that come to mind. There's an argument about these 2 all the time. So tell me who they are.
Oh, so you mean you're saying Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
You're kidding, right? Like you said, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but actually, I thought you were going to say what's his name from Ohio?
LeBron James.
Yeah, that is the argument, not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Most
Kareem
people don't even think LeBron James is in the top. Most people don't even think LeBron James is in the top 5 greatest of all. So
that's not true. A lot of people will tell you he's the GOAT, and other people will tell you that Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Do a Google search right now on ESPN. They talk about it all the time. LeBron's not even in the top 5.
Maybe that's changed in the last couple of years, but it used to be talked about all the time.
Yeah. Probably about 5 years ago, they were putting LeBron.
Because he was talked about as Michael Jordan level. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And even surpassing Michael Jordan. So I'm taking those 2 guys. Let's just take those 2 guys and not talk about where we're at now.
2012 to like 2018.
But I'm telling you, in that argument, at that time, what were people looking at for that? Because
they were looking again at facts with championships, MVPs, things that show success.
Yep.
So greatness came from their success, objectivity, not subjectivity.
No, it was also subjectivity because they would look at their performance and they would look at their tenacity and they would look at how they played the game.
Performance is objective by stats.
But performance is what they looked at. And they were like, well, how did they intimidate the other players? And how did they go out on the floor and dominate the floor whenever they were out there? They would talk about that.
Yeah, there's a stat line for that.
It's not just a stat line.
No,
it's the fact that they would watch about it. They would talk about it with the other players too and get their opinions.
And they would always they weren't like Derek. They never were like, well, when you look at how he jumps, no, they would say Michael Jordan had this scoring average, had this many MVPs, had this many playoff wins. LeBron has this many playoff wins, MVPs. It was always based off facts, not opinions.
No, it was a lot of opinion because a lot of people would be like, "Oh,
it's an opinion that Michael Jordan won 6 championships
any day of the week."
MVPs.
People would be like, "Jordan would school him, though." A lot of people hold on to that. Why do you think they held on to that?
Say what?
They would hold on to the fact that they thought Jordan was great, no matter if LeBron surpassed him in championships or not.
I mean, it never happened.
What I'm trying to say is but they didn't base it on always championships. A lot of the conversations I heard was about who they liked better.
I don't know. It wasn't on ESPN.
Well, ESPN ain't what I'm basing all my argument on either. That's one commentary. That's one commentary, Murph.
Huh?
That's one commentary.
What are you talking about?
ESPN.
Yeah, ESPN has like 20 analysts. It's not one commentary. It's a bunch of people talking
It's still one place saying it.
Okay,
it's not
TNT,
all the other people talking.
When they're basketball, you don't even watch basketball, and you're telling me what people are having conversations about.
Okay. So anyway, truth is, I've heard a lot of people.
Wait, give me the people. Tell me the people. No. Tell me the people who thinks Jordan's better than LeBron. Name those ESPN analysts since you've.
I didn't say it was ESPN. What are you talking about? Now you're on some weird ass.
You said that's one.
Okay.
That's one.
Hey guys, listen. This argument's never going to end, so we're going to have to end the show because this is a dumbass argument. So we're never going to get there. I think I knew enough about the subject, Crazy Mad. I don't need to know about what I'm, about the stats of each person to carry the argument. I'm carrying the argument about what I heard people talk about outside of ESPN.
Crazy man, what do you know about the NBA?
So
Crazy
it has
man's
nothing to
bringing
do
out
with
stuff.
knowledge of the NBA.
Huh?
To me, it's always going to be subjective.
No,
so
well, Derek,
that's the way it is.
Derek, the NBA has this new stat line where when a player's on the court, what they actually not like how it used to be like baskets, rebounds, blocks, steals, all that. They have this new equation where the amount of minutes someone's on the court, just being on the court, what their overall value is, and like if the team does better or worse when they're on the court. And that's like a really game changer when it comes to a play. I think it's called player productivity. So like when
That's
LeBron's
so
on the field, his
Yeah.
team's usually up by 20 points and he's on the bench. The team is usually like a negative 20, and they could do that with every player. And that's
but
really
they couldn't do
changed
that
a
with
lot of
Jordan,
things.
so they couldn't even compare that now.
Say what?
They couldn't compare that with Jordan because he didn't even.
Yeah,
have those
no, they
numbers.
can. They can go back into each game to look at someone's productivity per game.
Really?
And
Okay.
yeah, so it does. It kind of takes a lot of subjectivity out of a player's Now, the one thing with Jordan, which does make him more subjective than others, is he retired in his prime for a number of years. So that's a big thing. I didn't see that last thing you put it up and then it went.
Oh, so he said, what if a player by chance got amazing stats because everyone else sucked that year? And
well, they would still
against better competition, they would have floundered. I mean, I know that's happened, right? It's had to have happened. But
oh yeah,
I don't know, man. I can't agree with what you're talking about. You have your opinion, that's fine. I just can't agree with it.
Well, I believe there's objectivity and subjectivity. I don't believe they're the same thing.
Yeah. That doesn't define greatness, though. So, yeah, Jordan is the GOAT and then everyone else. See, I mean, I still think that's going to come down to opinion, Or
you can look at his stats. Sports is one of those things that you really can't. There's not a lot of, again, like Jordan, there is some leeway because, like, he didn't play his whole career because he did retire when his dad was murdered. Like LeBron's played 20 years. Like there's no woulda, coulda, shouldas with him. LeBron's stats are LeBron's stats. Like what else? You know what I mean? What else you're gonna do? Oh, he could have been on a different team. Well, then you can only deal with what happened on the court. And I think that's why people like sports, because it is very objective. I can show you this player's better. I have no idea about I know you're not into a lot of sports. You're into baseball. Have you ever been into racing, Derek?
Yeah. If you're looking at stats, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Have you been into racing?
Have I been into racing? I watched NASCAR for a little while, but I didn't get into it that much.
I know because NASCAR, there's like a point system and then there's also winning the race. And I never understood that.
I think there's a lot of lopsided shit going on in the racing, though, because you got to see who has the most money. If a lot of people have more money, they're going to have more into the engines. The engines are going to last longer. They're going to have, they're going to have the ability to do things that other teams cannot do because of money. Does that make sense?
That's kind of what happened to baseball, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's all about how much they can pour into it. So if somebody's failing, and it's about who has the best car. You're right. And you can pay for that. You know what I mean?
That sucks.
It's about fast. Oh yeah. Happens.
Well, Ricky Bobby is the best NASCAR racer ever, right?
That's what I think. What if he played on a different team question is why stuff like who's the greatest will always be subjective, while stuff like who scored the most points is objective. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But the greatest, to me, you can't lay it down. I mean, it's going to be, it'll change over time. You know what I mean? And then music, especially because there's no stat, there's nothing to gauge it except for what you like and what you don't like.
Can't you gauge it by money though?
No, No, you cannot, because Macarena proves that that's full of shit.
I mean, it didn't make money like the Beatles or Elvis or Michael Jackson.
It made fucking money, dude. You can't take away its success. It was successful. But damn,
yeah,
it was a dumbass
it's definitely
song.
successful. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a dumbass song. I would never put that song in one of the greatest songs of all time. Never. How could you? And if you did, I would really question
Shake and bake
who you are. So, and that's what I'm trying to say is that, you know, you may have a passion for Limp Bizkit, and that's great. I do not.
No, I don't have a passion, but
well, you fought pretty damn hard for them, so I think you do. But they don't mean shit to me, you know, and I think they're really just hacks.
But I think there are opinions about Limp Bizkit, but then there's objective facts about Limp Bizkit. And that's what I'm talking about. Objective facts,
I do think,
not subjective.
But the facts don't add up all the time. It doesn't make it great. It doesn't make it great. I'm just telling you. Who had the best agent? Who had the best record label? Some of that goes into success. That's true. And, you know, putting somebody out in front of people, like, look at New Year's Eve. Every time you watch New Year's Rockin' Eve, you ever watch that and go, who the hell is that? You know what I mean? And you're going, why is everybody acting like they already know these songs and then they're popular? And I'm going, who the hell? And it's because they've been in front of enough people. You know, they're getting popular, but that doesn't mean they're good. And that doesn't mean they're going to reach everybody. You know what I mean? And I would never put a lot of those bands in the greatest at all. Most of them can't even last their hit, you know, their one hit wonder. So, but they'll do a lot of sales. Great and greatest are two different words. Yeah, I agree too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I would agree with that for definitely levels, but I think most of it's opinion based. You know, because we had that big argument. Maybe we ought to do this sometime. Put out a list of who we think is the greatest songs of all time. Right?
Yeah, we did a top 10 list, right?
Yeah, we did that way back, like years ago. And when you think about the greatest songs, my list is going to look different than your great list.
We agreed probably like on 8 or 10 of them, right? We agreed on a lot.
I mean, we agreed, but you still couldn't agree with certain things.
Well, I hate the Hotel California song.
I know.
Jim Cox. That's evil.
Who's your 3 GOAT bands? Damn. 3 GOATs?
Beatles would have to be.
No, I mean, for me, I don't know, man, because it changes. Like, my favorite band of all time is Rush. But are they GOAT? Damn.
No,
that's
Rush.
tough.
You can't put Rush in GOAT. Come on.
I mean, for me, they are. But that's because they're my favorite.
But is he asking your favorites, or he's asking who you would consider as the great? When he says GOAT, greatest of all times, I don't think it's.
When I think of actual greatest because of popularity, because of success, or if I think of the fact that they were able to change the face of rock and roll, let's look at that.
Well, the Beatles.
I would put the Beatles.
You just mentioned.
The Beatles are there. They're it. They changed music. They changed the 50s from the happy-go-lucky swinging stuff to the harder drug-induced rock that we got at Woodstock. That changed when they went on Ed Sullivan. And the Doors went on Ed Sullivan. And those kind of bands started coming out. That's when rock changed. And it became more psychedelic. And it became more hard-edged. And we were in a different era at that point. In the late 60s.
I feel like Led Zeppelin changed stuff too.
Led Zeppelin brought on metal. So when you had Led Zeppelin come out in the late 60s to early 70s, that even changed it more. And there was so much evolution happening in
rock. So now we need a third. Crazy Mad, we need a third. We got
so
Beatles,
I don't think
Led
I would
Zeppelin.
I mean, yeah, Zeppelin is definitely up there.
So who would be third?
Man.
Limp Bizkit.
Okay, are we talking rock bands? Because that's a whole different thing.
Bizkit, Derek's the third.
You're no, hell no. So
what
who are
about
the
Rage
goats
Against
to
the
you?
Machine? They
So
were
it said, who are the goats
right?
to you? So I would definitely put the Beatles as the goat. They are the goat rock band of all time. I'd have to say that. That's hard not to say that.
Oh my God, Mo Biggs, you're gonna piss Derek off by saying
Hey,
Limp Bizkit
I mean,
is
you
cooler
know,
than Rush.
Mo is not all knowing sometimes. You know what I mean? He misses the
Oh,
mark. He misses it. It's not often, Mo, that you miss
I
it.
like
But
Limp
that time you
Bizkit.
missed it.
I like Limp Bizkit, but I honestly think Rush is cooler than Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, Rush is definitely cooler than Limp Bizkit. So you're welcome. Yeah. I got Zeppelin, Queen, and Slipknot. Oh,
Ooh,
hell.
Queen, dude.
Queen was very influential, very good. I wouldn't put him as GOAT. Greatest rock singer, definitely.
Oh man, his voice, dude.
He's top rock singer of all time, in my opinion.
So who would be the third? Beatles, Zeppelin, and
damn, man, that's tough to say because, like, who changed?
Eagles?
Who changed? That's a powerhouse.
For my dad,
it
if he's watching.
Is. I mean, the Eagles is very powerhouse, and now they had the amount of talent that most bands could never even get in one person, let alone having it in all five of them. So it was ridiculous, the talent.
We're forgetting the Bee Gees.
Are you kidding?
You know what I thought of? Dude, what in my head, you ever see the SNL skit of the Bee Gees with Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Maybe.
Oh my God. Wait, give me a second. You will.
So
you will.
Did you see what? Oh my gosh, Rush were very talented musicians who desperately needed a songwriter. The greatest rock drummer, like, of all time, is in that band writing the lyrics, and you're saying he can't write songs. What a mess, Mo. Guys, these lyrics are corny. Oh, damn. How can you not like Fly By Night? Moving Pictures. You got Tom Sawyer, Limelight. How is that corny? If he could only write like he drums, I think he did, but that's just me.
Mean Tom Sawyer, mean drive.
Oh, this show's done. Put it away. Tom Sawyer. Yeah, Tom Sawyer.
Wait, okay, let me see if I can share this,
That's
Derek.
Not corny.
Derek.
He thinks Tom Sawyer's corny.
No, I like Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer's awesome. Was that a serious question? Now, see, I think they're great. Mo thinks that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job at doing that, but I would never put the Bee Gees in the top.
No,
never.
You had to say that. The Bee Gees
I mean, it's terrible. Time. Man, who would I put up there in the top three, though? That's really tough.
Well, Mo's right. It's not going to be Rush. Rush ain't getting in that.
No, I wouldn't put him up there as the top three, but I would say, I mean, they're great in their own right, but this is a tough one because for me,
you know what a lot of people would put in, and I think it's complete garbage, is Nirvana.
Yeah, they would. I think it's garbage too. Now they changed music and they but I think it was easier to change the music back then because there was such a
well, I don't think they did it. I think the Seattle 5 did it. I don't.
Well, no. So, like, you had the facade of the hair bands going on at that time. Everything was kind of fake, put on. Poison, like bands like Poison, they're wearing a lot of makeup. It's just a facade. It was all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, which was fun, but it wasn't saying anything. It didn't mean anything. You know what I mean? It was disposable music, for sure.
You're telling me I want to rock and roll all night and party every day doesn't have meaning?
Whew. And then, man, those are deep lyrics. And so then you have Nirvana that comes out. I mean, actually, you had Appetite for Destruction come out right at the end of the hairband era. And then Nirvana overshadowed it, which was crazy. So they changed everything at that point. But, I don't know. A lot of people might put them up there. I probably wouldn't put them up there. So, but that's just me. I would definitely say Zeppelin was great. And I would say I mean, Queen was very influential, and maybe the Beatles. Those might be the top three. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
What do you
trying to
think,
think of
Crazy
someone
Matt?
I would say is better than Queen, and
Well, and I don't just say better. Think about, you got to think more than that. Who influenced more bands? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the influential piece is big. And I'd say the Beatles almost influenced everybody.
yeah.
You know, they influenced people you didn't even realize. And then you're like, wow. Because as soon as they saw, because I've heard a lot of people say, well, I started my music whenever I saw him on the Ed Sullivan Show. And then next thing you know, boom. So you're thinking of Use Your Illusion. Appetite for Destruction came out in '87. Nobody had heard of Nirvana. Yeah, no, you're right, Mo. And what I was saying was Appetite for Destruction came out at the more towards the end of the hair band era, and then Use Your Illusion built off that success, and then boom, Nirvana hit. So really, Guns N' Roses, I feel like, didn't even really have the ability to put rock and roll in a different place, because I feel like Nirvana kind of overshadowed them, you know. Chumbawamba. Well,
Anytime I hear hair metal, I can only think of the last season of Stranger Things, where they're like looking for music, and they're looking through Eddie's stuff, and they're like, "We need music," and he's got all these metal bands, and he goes, "This is music." He freaks out.
I love that. He says, "Where's Chumbawamba?" Well, they get knocked down, so they should.
I mean, I love Metallica. Metallica is definitely in, but I wouldn't put them in the top three. But
not in top three. Enjoying Murph's admiration of their well-established greatness at the Art and Touch. Yeah, that's right. So I don't know, man. Like, this is a good discussion. So I think we ought to pick this up in the music thing. Maybe next week we'll do a music one. We'll do the top 10 list of like greatest songs, top 10 greatest rock songs. How about that? You guys down for that next week? You want to come back after our terrible arguing over tonight?
Dude, though, when we did it before, we didn't make it just rock. Didn't we do it all? Because didn't we even have Michael Jackson in it? Like,
well,
we did greatest songs.
Some of that's considered pop, pop rock. I drink a whiskey drink. I drink a vodka drink. I drink a large drink.
Oh man, that's a good song.
That's Chumbawamba, man.
I know.
Okay. So why is this even a discussion? If you're looking for the three greatest bands,
well, I mean,
albums and sales.
Dude, well, he's right, because you'd have to put AC/DC.
No, he's not right. No, he's not right.
About money. If you're going on money, right? AC/DC.
No, dude.
You don't think AC/DC is great?
I think they're great, but not everybody would tell you they're great.
She's got big balls. We've got the best. I hate his voice, dude.
If you ain't tub thumping. I mean, Bon Scott's voice was different than Brian. And so I like Bon Scott for certain songs. So when they're singing Jailbreak, that's pretty damn cool with Bon Scott. When they're singing Back in Black, man, Bon Scott sounds pretty damn good on that one if you listen to his version of it. Only Brian Johnson's the one that recorded it. So it's good. Yeah, TNT. That's Bon Scott, dude. That sounds awesome. I love that. Someone please clip Murph singing. No, actually, Murph hates the Eagles. I love the Eagles. He hates them.
Eagles are cool. I got no hate against them.
I'm a big Scott guy all day over Brian Johnson. I mean, they both have their merits, for my opinion. Bon Scott was great, but so is Brian Johnson for a lot of other reasons. So
why aren't we talking about Bon Jovi with greatness?
Why are we talking about Bon Jovi? Why would that ever come up in a conversation with me about music? That's what I want to know.
Because you love Bon Jovi.
Nope.
What about Sting?
Never. I love Sting.
I know.
I love it. I love it.
You don't have to put on the red light.
That's the Police, not just Sting.
Dude, the Police is nothing without Sting. It's basically all Sting shit. Come on.
You're right. They would be nothing, but neither would
Yeah.
a lot of bands that are only trios if you took one part of them away. So
If I'm
yeah, you're
listening
right.
to Phil Collins, I'm still listening to Genesis as well, man.
Now look at this. Jim says I was siding with Kevin on some points. I don't know
Well,
why
Jim,
you do
I'll
that
get you
ever,
back.
Jim.
I will
Jim,
get you back.
haven't you ever learned yet that you never side with Murph?
You
Don't
can't
do it.
say learned yet with a past tense and a future tense. Come on.
I mean,
on,
it
Eric.
should have already happened. Hasn't he learned? I mean, he should have learned at this point.
No, Jim's
Never bet
smart.
on
Jim's
never
got good
bet
head
on
on
the
his shoulder.
Murph horse. So, yeah, well, we're breaking 2 hours just on a stupid argument about greatness because you are ridiculous.
I mean, you're arguing against facts. I don't know what to
No,
do
I'm not.
about that.
I'm not arguing against facts. In fact, I said the facts are great,
Living on a prayer.
but I don't agree with it. I don't think something's great just because of the fact. Oh, look at this. Crazy Mad. I mean, I'm losing a little respect, but it's okay, man. I still love you, dude. We're still
Dude, you
going to have
ever
our
listen
Star
to
Wars
Limp
talk.
Bizkit's cover of Blue Eyes? That is a really good song.
I would rather
Behind
listen to
Blue
the
Eyes?
Who's version of Blue Eyes. So,
dude, though, remember how huge, like, you think about it, when Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit were huge, both of their songs were like nonsense, though. Like, Limp Bizkit had I Did It All for the Nookie, and then Kid Rock had Ball with the Ball to Bang, Diggy Diggy. Like, what the heck? Like, those are just ridiculous lyrics.
it is.
Like,
but I would rather hear him over Limp Bizkit any day.
Kid Rock?
Yeah.
Kid Rock went too country for me, but I did like his early stuff.
I have more respect for him.
So I mean, Kid Rock's ridiculously talented. He can play like every instrument, right?
Yeah, but I just think he's better. I think everything he did was better, and it was just he morphed. You know what I mean? He morphed himself, which is I think cool in and of itself. But
he can probably do a number of genres, right? Kid Rock, like he can do metal, punk, country. Like he's pretty flexible in his musical range.
Yeah, and he was able to do duets and different stuff with people. So so nothing is more authentic than Kid Rock.
I mean, when you think of America, you do think of Kid Rock, right, man? Like,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, he's also, he's kind of a put on sometimes. But whatever, he's an entertainer, and I give him credit.
He's a persona, right? Like,
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, see, this all started because Woodstock was a shit show. It's exactly right. It was a shit show.
To me, it seems like Woodstock was probably fun to be at as long as you weren't a girl. Like all the raping.
See, I can't agree with you on that one either. It would never be fun. The water prices, they took your water at the door. That wouldn't be fun. Being on that tarmac all day where you're on hot pavement all day, that wouldn't be fun. The only fun thing would be
the toilets too, like
yeah, it was like they were bathing in and like slipping and sliding in it because they thought it was fun, just mud water, but it's actual shit water. That's not fun. That whole show was terrible. I couldn't. I would have hated every second of that.
I think the first day was probably fun, but just day 2 and 3 were probably horrendous. Yeah, then the interviews. Yeah, nothing to see here.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it was terrible, man. And you know what's funny is those guys ran Woodstock, and Woodstock was a farce too. And you think about what really went down at the original Woodstock, it was a mess.
Whoa, what do you mean? What happened at the original?
A lot of things happened, like just prices, and people didn't pay to get in. It grew. A lot of people were hungry and like thirsty at that place. There was a lot that went down at Woodstock. If you watch the original documentary, that
is that on Netflix? I didn't know about that.
I think it's on Prime. If you look at Prime, it's on there. But there's stuff that went on there too, but it wasn't as crazy as 99.
I thought it was weird that the documentary on Woodstock 99, they talked about the 15-year-old girl being tied down in a automobile, but that's all they talked about. Like there was a lot of rapes.
No, they
right?
didn't. There were at least 4 rapes that one night.
My God.
And they
How does that
said
happen when there's so many people around?
because everybody's high and stupid. I mean, think about it. And then they had no control. They didn't know what was going on. There were so many people they couldn't follow what was going on. You know what I mean? And anybody that was coherent was not in the mix of a lot of that. Everybody that was not, they were just like partying down and didn't give a shit about nobody.
Did they ever say how much the owner of it made from it? Because they had it on pay-per-view too at the same time.
Yeah, he made a lot, but I mean, really, it was terrible though. So I mean, the vendors took a lot of money. They took over the show. It was a terrible shit show.
Do you think the owner made like $1 million?
I don't know. Probably in marketing, but that's what made that a farce. That's not Woodstock. That's market stock. That's marketing. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what even people were spray painting, right?
Yeah, it was all bullshit. So it was a bullshit show. There was no hippiness to it at all. All that was gone, man. So there was no free love, peace, any of that. So it was terrible. And I know I wouldn't like that. Dude, especially now, I want to enjoy my concert. You know what I mean? You got to pay over $100 to see a band now.
Yeah.
You deserve to enjoy that show. You know,
like Rock on the Range is pretty good outside of the porta potties. Like after day one, the porta potties are like a mess. Like it's just terrible.
But think about it. You know, I'm going to see Iron Maiden in September, I think. It might be October. But we paid hella money for that. Almost $200 a ticket. You know what I mean? I deserve to enjoy that show.
Who's headlining for them?
Iron Maiden's headlining.
I'm sorry, not head. Who's before them? Who's
opening up?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's a band that's been touring around. I can't think of who it is now.
They're not big though. They're not as big as them.
I mean, they're getting bigger. They're getting bigger, but they're not like mega big.
It's not like with them during their time of playing.
No,
it's like
not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, this band's smaller.
That's
true.
That is so true. Quote.
Yeah, I mean it's terrible. Yeah, I hate that shit. So no thanks.
I would like the quote to being a woman wasn't just terrible at Woodstock. Being a woman's terrible like 24/7. That's what she
because of all the cat calls.
Yeah.
And
we really got this full circle, huh?
Mansplaining. Yeah, it's terrible. And Hulk trying to teach me when I already know better than him. I'm better than him.
And women get murdered even though 78% homicides are male. Women can get murdered.
Fantastic. Hey, that's a good spot to leave on. Anyway.
That is a good spot to leave. Thank you for bringing it full circle.
No doubt. Oh gosh, let's not even. Ooh, yikes! I thought there was.
Well, I thought there was like 20 of them. Wasn't like it was bad. Like.
Oh, maybe I don't know. It was terrible though. But it was a terrible thing.
And like you said, people were drugged up. There was probably people that didn't even know what happened to them. Honestly.
Oh yeah. It was happening, and people were just, whatever, dude. So, guys, next week top 10 list. We're going to do it. We have a show, which is great because it's.
Are we doing rock or just music?
Top 10 greatest rock songs of all time.
So any pop singers are disqualified. No rap, no pop, no country.
I say just rock. Keep it to rock.
Okay, that does make it a little bit easier. That you're right.
Yeah, because it's got to be kept in a. You got to have parameters, or otherwise you'd name everybody. So you can't do that. They said I can't remember. No Celine Dion, thank you. No.
Wait, that song she did for Deadpool was amazing.
Oh gosh, here we go. Anyway, see, I think she's a great singer, but I don't think she's the greatest. Anyway, guys, top 10. So come with your lists. You got to throw some stuff out there, but we're going to have our own list, and we're going to go through them and tell about why we're going to do that. So next week, we have an assignment. top 10 rock
We're gonna have
songs
an
of all
actual list and then a piss Derek off list.
No, I'll let you name it.
Jingle Bells.
Jingle Bells?
Yeah.
That is a
Casey says the
classic
best
rock
song of all time is Jingle Bells.
Well, what's her name that has that Christmas song? She was huge in the 80s, and then she went crazy in the 90s.
What?
Mariah Carey's Christmas
Oh.
song.
Oh,
can't even think
Mariah
what it is.
Carey? What song does she do?
I don't want a lot for Christmas.
My wife had to know it. I knew she would. No,
Yeah.
but it's no, that's terrible. Hey, Dean made it to the show after we've been on here for 2 hours, Dean. 2 hours. And he makes it on. Most popular song of all time is Happy Birthday. Welcome, Dean, anyway. That's probably true.
From that. Oh,
You're just in
God.
time. Yeah, you did. You made it just in time for us to talk about the top 10 greatest rock songs of all time. Next week, we're going to come up with a list. Has to be
Twist
rock.
and Shout's my number 3.
I mean, Twist and Shout is a rock song, so it will fit in the genre. And it's by who? Do you even know who wrote it?
The Twist and Shout Band. Huey Lewis and the News. Green Day. Weezer.
What?
Bare Naked Ladies.
Weezer? Wait, who wrote Twist and Shout? You don't know.
It's either Weezer or Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh my gosh, man. I Murph, the hatred. The hatred flows. It flows. Only 2. You'll come back? No. Dean. We're getting ready. We're going to have the greatest rock list of all time next week. You got to show up with your list, but we're going to name our list out there. Throw it out there. What we think is the greatest top 10 rock songs of all time.
Remember,
and it will differ than Murph's. Murph's going to have a
in
shit
the
show.
Elf movie?
My list will be great.
Remember in the movie Elf where he goes up to the fake Santa and he goes, "If you're Santa, what did you sing to me on my birthday?" And he goes, "Happy birthday, of course." And Elf goes, "Damn."
Right. That movie is great. That is a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for coming on the show, for watching with us, for watching us argue and kill each other.
Like, subscribe, admit Limp Bizkit is better than Rush.
Listen, we've been stuck at 180 subscribers for 6 months. What the hell's going on? Get people to like this. I think it might be our
intro. I wonder if we're getting hit on stuff.
No, I think it's because Murph. It's because your arguments.
I think the arguments make people want to watch.
No, I don't. I think they make you not want to watch, and they're like, "Holy shit!" They're just going to argue.
Like Jim Cox. List. We could
definitely make Jim Cox uncomfortable.
We could do a top 10 list of show theme songs, like which is the best.
Goofy Goober Rock. What's he talking about? Who's Goofy Goober
I don't know
Rock?
what Goofy Goober is.
We're talking about the greatest rock songs of all time.
Sounds like a candy bar.
Dean, you're gonna have to throw out your list, buddy. You're gonna have to put it out there for us. We're gonna have to see what you throw out there and see your opinions on music. Who are the greatest? And that's what I'm gonna do. And you may totally disagree with me, and it's okay. But I'm still gonna think it's great. So, okay, everybody. Well, we tried to say goodbye already, but we're gonna do it for real this time. Thank you for watching for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And come back next week, and we will see you then.
Limp Bizkit is great.
Oh, shit. You just ruined it. They